Let's go live. Let's see if it work. What we naming this episode?
Shit. Oh, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up. The first thing I thought about was that song "A Woman's Worth." That's not okay. We cannot do that.
All right, I think we officially lied now. So
that's too far.
when a woman's fed up.
What are we gonna name this episode? What are we gonna name it?
Trophy.
He'll get awards for that.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Start off the episode.
Hey, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with the trophies. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's it. Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man. All right. So, the would you rather for today's question is this: Would you rather only be able to text through voice message for the next year, or you can't taste your food for the next 2 months?
I'm gonna go with I can't taste my food for the next 2 months.
Interesting.
The reason being is I say, as far as being slim, I say Chris probably the most slim host out of us three.
Oh, absolutely.
But we both went through, like, I'm gonna eat better, I'm gonna get my diet together, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But some food that's not good for you, it just tastes delicious.
Yeah.
So if I can't taste my food, I'm doing nothing but eating straight healthy, eating nothing but leafy greens. I'm gonna just have an exceptional diet for those next however, because the taste not really gonna matter to me.
Hey, bro, side note, I ate, I had a weight loss goal to hit, and I said, like, oh, I'm gonna eat a Baconator when I hit my weight loss goal, like, cause I love a Baconator. They're just an undefeated sandwich in my mind. Bro, I got a Baconator, and I was just like, what is this? This is...
You can outgrow certain food for sure.
Well, what's going on here? Like, I was so disappointed in myself, bro. I've never felt that way about a Baconator before.
Bro, you could have did Five Guys. I mean,
yeah, I should have did Five Guys. I should have did five, because Five Guys ain't never did me wrong.
never. And they eat extra fries,
bro. Especially the Wendy's around the corner for me, bro. They always, after a certain time, yeah, we only taking cash. Bro, if y'all want to steal from the store, do it on your own time. They ain't got nothing to do with me, bro. Like, let me pay with my card. But anywho, Chris, which one would you rather do, man? Which one?
I think I'd go with using voice to text. Cause I mean, I like tasting my food, and I just feel like with all the COVID going around, people was miserable not being able to taste their food. And you mean I gotta do that for 2 months? That's tough. And voice to text, I mean, that don't rule out I can't just call somebody if they can't get what I'm saying. And then also it make me pronunciate my words a lot better and like speak up and stuff like that. So I think
you gotta do a voice message if you send one. You gotta like send the voice message, hold down the button,
you do a
send
voice message. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's not bad then. That's not bad.
I feel like that's mad weird. Like, I ain't trying to like voice message my moms, bro. Like, how are you today? I don't know. I don't want to do that. It's too much effort.
You want to know the funniest part about it? All right, so this question was inspired by 2 experiences that I've actually like been through in my lifetime, right? Because like one of my phones, like right after voice message came out, the screen cracked, and y'all know I had COVID and couldn't taste my food, and I'm like, what's 2 situations that I've been in that were like, they weren't terrible, but they were like vividly uncomfortable, and like these are the 2. Let me tell you, I would gladly do voice message for a year as opposed to can't taste my food for 2 months. Cause like the worst part about like not being able to taste your food is like you can now feel the experience of having food in your mouth without taste. Like, it's a gross feeling. It's really so terrible. And like, I wouldn't want to you never get used to it. I had COVID and my taste was gone for like a week and a half, damn near 2 weeks. And I kept saying in my mind, like, at some point I'm gonna just get used to food being in there and me not tasting it. It never happened. It literally never happened once. And I was just
I didn't experience that, so.
Oh, it was god awful, bro. It was just like, oh, boy, I had so much stuff in my mind. I hate it. Pause. But anyway, it was a terrible experience. It was a terrible, terrible experience. But anyway, we got a great show for y'all today, man. We got a lot going on. We mostly gonna be talking hoops, and you know, we might have to call this the Title IX episode or something because we gotta have some moments for the WNBA. And we also got to have some come to Jesus moments for the Nets GM Sean Marks and some of the things that he was asking for Kevin Durant. We're going to sprinkle in some summer league on top of that, and we're going to try to make a good show for y'all today. That sounds like a good show to y'all.
Sound good to me.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Well, what's up, y'all? Don't forget to participate in the Pod Pick'em Challenge. If you haven't already heard about it, if you haven't thought about participating, very simple. The Pod Pick'em Challenge, we give you the opportunity to turn your subscription into $1,000. All you got to do is be subscribed and beat us three at the Pod Pick'em Challenge. We'll pick 3 to 5 games each week. Beat us from the beginning of the season up through the Super Bowl, and boom, you're entered into a raffle to win the grand prize. The more people that enter, the bigger the prize is. So it's up to y'all how big the prize box get, all right? But we saying $1,000 is the peak of it right now. That could be revisited if we get enough subscribers. Anywho, what's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the Facts Over Axe crew. We got the master, the mix and master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man of the plan, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here.
And then you got the little old MC, that's me, Ken Gibbs. Now, fellas, we are looking at a new world in terms of sports and legacies and all that. And we've seen a lot with the NBA as far as guys jumping teams a lot, a la LeBron. And you know, you've got a lot of people saying that there's no more loyalty in sports anymore. And so staying on one team is greatly valued as far as legacy and all that goes. And with that being said, both Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal have re-up on their teams for max contracts. Fellas, let me ask you this. Would you rather have a don't run from the grind career, or would you rather be a guy that's like an all-star level guy, but you went to multiple teams and won a ring or two there?
For the longest, especially because I'm a Kobe guy. Where if I said if I was a professional athlete, I'd be loyalty, stay to the same team for however many years. But as I get older and I just experience life more, playing for these teams is nothing different than you working a job. It's not like you got a certain loyalty to these organizations, or if something happened to you, I blew up my knee, I can't play anymore. This happened to me, I can't play anymore. They wouldn't be ready to trade me, or if my skills decline, they would be ready to trade me at the drop of a dime. So I don't really think it's the loyalty when it comes to Bradley Beal, when it comes to Damian Lillard. I think it comes to Supermax. I'd be loyal for a Supermax. But at the same time, you can also parlay championships and those other opportunities into careers past basketball. For example, you can get a guy like Draymond. I think if we were having a basketball conversation just because of the championship experience, people would be more than willing to listen to a Draymond talk basketball than they would Bradley Beal.
Interesting.
Which is tough.
That's a very good point. Chris, which one would you rather have, man? The don't run from the grind career, or go around and win you a couple chips?
Man, this should have been a would you rather, because that 260 M's is tough, man. That is tough. But you know, I at the end of the day, where do you want to be known as, man? Money gets forgotten, because 10 years from now, players going to be getting paid double that, okay?
Yeah.
20 years from now, they're going to get paid probably double that. The way money works is it's just going to keep on getting worse and worse, harder and harder to raise. Like, people that got offered jobs out of college 20 years before us don't get paid nearly as much as people that get offered out of jobs out of college now. Like, the money just keeps evolving and gets more expensive to live on Earth. So money gets forgotten. Winning championships, though, people still to this day only keep Bill Russell in their top 10 because he got so many dang on championships.
Yeah.
Like, half everybody that ranks Bill Russell never even seen a clip of Bill Russell playing. But they know he just had all them championships. He's a legend that will always live on. You know, so to me, until they change the award from Bill Russell award to LeBron James award because LeBron James also been to the finals more times than he's not been into the finals since he's been in the league. I honestly think that having a legacy of winning is more important to me for my career. And I would go with probably not running from the grind, but making the grind a little easier.
Hey, Chris, man, stay off the drugs. Stay off. Money gets forgotten. I don't care how much money you think I made or didn't make. Guess what?
I didn't forget my money.
Exactly. Guess what, baby?
I agree with you. I agree. You don't forget that money, but when you think back, you ain't thinking about how much money Allen Iverson made. You just remember he ain't got no ring.
But you know what you also think about? Allen Iverson set himself up with his Reebok deal to where he got 50 M's waiting on him as soon as he turned, what was it, 50? Is it 50? I think it's either 50 or 45.
Yeah, that's cool. He could have did that and still got a ring too.
All I'm saying is this. I'm with Guyton in that, you know what I mean? Like the Supermax money is nice and all that, but at the same time, you don't owe these teams no loyalty. Like, to me, if I had to pick one, it's just whichever one is better for me at that time. And also, let's be honest, if you're taking it back to Bill Russell time, bro, what? They wasn't making nothing. They was literally leaving the court like, all right, bro, I gotta go ahead and I gotta go weld pipes all day. Like, bro, what? You're out of your mind.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, you forget about all that because you know he got 11 titles.
I mean, I feel you. But at the end of the day, for me personally, again, it's whichever one is like best for me at that time. Like if you're talking about like whose career would I rather have between like if I was a Bradley Beal on championship teams, which I think most of us would agree, Bradley Beal is not a first option on a championship team, right?
No, I put him in the same boat as a Paul George, James Harden.
A second to third option depending on the team that you're on. Honestly, if I had that career, if they told me like that's the best you're gonna be, yeah, I'll probably stick with one team only because of the bread. Only because the bread is that crazy. That's probably it. Like again, I wouldn't care about running from the grind. I wouldn't care about the allegations. Now, if you told me I was gonna have Bron career, then yeah, I'd jump around all the time because wherever he goes, he's getting a new max. But like if Bradley Beal went somewhere else, he's not about to get another max. Like he's not getting the super max from.
He not getting $265 million nowhere else.
That's what I'm saying. He's not. If he was to say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the Nuggets and me and Jokic gonna win a championship, you're not getting $260 million over there. I mean, you're just not doing it. So me personally,
but once you get over $5 million a year though, Gibbs, it's like it don't even matter no more, bro.
I get you.
Don't.
I get you. It kind of don't, but at the same point. It kind of does.
All right, well, let's flip this then. We talking about Bill. Let's talk about Dame. Dame is somebody that we can all agree that he probably could be a one on a championship team. Like, if you told me Dame was the number one player on a championship team, I mean, he been to the Western Conference Finals with CJ McCollum as his second, man. That's tough to do.
I can see. I'll say this. I could see Dame being a one on the squad. Like if something happened in the like. For example, how the Raptors beat the Warriors.
They got a super well-oiled machine kind of team, though.
Yeah, like a lot of things had to work out for the Raptors to get that chip.
I'll give you an example. If you took Dame and put him on this Celtics team without Jason Tatum taking the leap to superstardom, but you put him on this Celtics team and they won a title, and Jason Tatum was still an all-star. Jaylen Brown was still an all-star. Marcus Smart still a defensive player of the year. But Tatum wasn't a superstar. He was still a step behind Dame. You wouldn't say like, okay, that doesn't make sense. You know, Dame like.
Yeah, Dame would be the first option on that team, and they'd be a
exactly.
champion. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So to me, that makes sense. So if I'm Damian Lillard in that regard, go get a ring, man. You got Adidas deals. Damian Lillard has rap deals. Like, you got so much other money, bro. Money. And it's Portland. I could see if you was in LA losing. You're losing at Portland.
Hey, no disrespect to our listeners in Portland, okay? But at my job, I have a teammate that lives in Portland. And we was like, what's one place if they had the offsite here, you would like not go? Because we was in Hawaii. We was in Maui for the offsite. and like we was like having a good time. I said, and they was like, well, yeah, this one is so great. Like the next one, you got to make it terrible to even it out. And they was like, yeah, we got to go to a convention center in Cleveland. And I looked at the CFO and I said, listen, I get that y'all trying to cut costs and all that. I swear to God, if y'all had it in Cleveland, I am not showing up. So we was just joking and we was going around the table asking like a place where if they had it there, you wouldn't go. And my teammate who lived in Portland said, hey, if y'all was having it in downtown Portland, yeah, no, I definitely had to go to a wedding in you know, my hometown or something. This man's hometown is Butte, Montana. That is, you know, no disrespect to our Portland viewers, but
I thought you were about to say our Montana listeners. I was say I don't know where we got them at.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I'm just saying.
You only thing you hear about Portland is probably Portland Trailblazers. Like that's probably the only thing I can't think of nothing that struck my mind about Portland like other than Trailblazers.
I was gonna say, didn't Starbucks start there? But I think that's Seattle. Yeah, that's Seattle.
Yeah, that's Seattle.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing when we first said Portland. Oh, no, that's Seattle.
I mean, I've heard.
What came from Portland?
Never mind. I can't think of anything. Let
me paint a picture for y'all. Idaho. Potato. Right. Portland don't even have that. Like at least Idaho has something claimed to fame. You know what I mean?
Bro, please. The Portland viewers is never gonna watch us again. They are never going. They just turned off Facts Over Acts, and they never coming back again. But you know what though? That's you. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Portland is not. I wouldn't. I mean, yes. Any city being 100 millionaire is 100 millionaire, regardless of what city you in. Because like. You could easily just be like, I'm going to book a month-long Airbnb in whatever place or just buy a house in whatever place you'd like to live outside of there. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like, hey, fellas, let's go to the All-Star game in Portland. I'm going to look at you like you stupid.
Well, let me ask you this. In terms of legacy, right? Because, yes, we're talking about Dame and Bill, but like for a Steph, for a Kobe, for a Duncan, for a Nowitzki, do you think staying on one team adds to the legacy in a meaningful way?
Yes, I do. I do a lot because if you look at a Kobe career or a Duncan career, yeah, they would be as great if they went somewhere else, or they might even have more championships. But if you look at like because of Duncan, San Antonio is considered like a prolific franchise now. The Lakers already was, and if you're synonymous with franchises like that, then that definitely elevates your legacy. Plus, it's great players out there that switch teams, and when they career over, they might not have a jersey retired somewhere. They might not have a statue outside the stadium somewhere. We could definitely see a future in which no team retires Carmelo Anthony's jersey.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
That's a stretch.
All right, no joke right now. No joke. At bare minimum, the Nuggets are retiring his jersey.
I think possibly, they should. But if a decision came and they said no, I wouldn't be surprised.
Get out of here. Stop it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Stop it. If the Nuggets didn't, man, you out of your mind. You got to be out of that man. He leads them in scoring. How do you not retire your leading scorer's jersey? How do you not do that?
I just feel like the more that time goes, I'm pretty sure there's teams out there who lead and score don't have a jersey retired. It gotta be.
Who? Who do you think of?
I'm gonna look this up.
Actually, I got one. Charlotte might not retire Kemba's jersey, and he their leading scorer.
Kemba is their leading scorer?
Yeah, Kemba.
Yeah, by far.
And that's off the dome. I ain't Googled nothing. My hand's been right in front of it. That's off the dome. And Charlotte might not retire Kemba jersey.
That's tough. Wait a minute. Is Carmelo not their leading scorer? Oh, my God.
Is it Alex English?
It might be Alex English. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's tough. Man. Yikes. Never mind about that whole Carmelo thing. You know, I was just joking.
No, I think they still he still had a run in Denver that if they don't retire his jersey, they might not get another big free agent ever in their life. Like, come on now. Melo did that franchise great when he was there. Only reason why he wanted to get out is because he wanted to be in New York near his family and all that. Like, literally. Melo served his purpose in Denver did get into much trouble. He got a couple little things on his resume, but not crazy. Nothing crazy.
Do the Phoenix Suns have Walter Davis jersey retired?
Do the Phoenix Suns have Walter Davis jersey retired? I would imagine so.
They got to, bro.
Also, Carmelo is third all time in scoring for them. Yikes, that's tough. That's a tough one.
But he wasn't there that long though, for real.
That's fair. That's fair.
He went to New York when he came to the league at what, 21, 20? And he went
now their all-time
3-point
scorer. Their all-time 3-point scorer is crazy. It's Will Barton. That is crazy. That is nuts. Yeah, Will Barton's their all-time 3 guy. That's crazy. But anyway, there's not a world where they don't retire Carmelo's jersey. Just from a cultural impact.
One last one. I think they're going to do it. Do the Raptors retire DeMar DeRozan jersey?
Yes.
Yes.
Hell yes. There's
He the reason that started that championship.
I agree. And this is no respect to DeMar DeRozan. But if I go to the stadium and I see like DeRozan up there, I'm like, yo, we need some better squads in Toronto, dog.
Can I tell you something? If DeMar DeRozan is never born, they never win a championship.
Never win a championship.
So he responsible because he got traded?
He's responsible because he was good enough to get traded for a prime Kawhi.
True. Okay. True.
And also, he was good enough for them to start building pieces around
him. Exactly. And they built pieces around the mid-range scorer who could score if he gets the ball in high volume.
And then you upgrade that for Kawhi.
Stop it. They are definitely retiring his jersey.
If they don't, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I think the best example is Kemba and Charlotte. Like,
yeah,
Kemba did a lot for them coming out of UConn, but I think
honestly, they kind of got to do it too. They kind of got to do it.
Nah,
they got to do it.
I don't think they got to.
Think about what they were before Kemba got there. Think about what they were before Kemba got there.
They was the Charlotte Bobcats.
No. I don't mean like, think about what they were in our minds before they got. We weren't around for Muggsy Bogues and like Larry Johnson and all that. We weren't around for that. What we saw of them was a Emeka Okafor, Adam Morrison. Oh, Maggette. Ooh.
And they had Al Jefferson for a little minute too.
But that Al Jefferson came along.
No, he came right
before Kemba. Yeah, he came along right before Kemba. But again, the only reason we thought of Al Jefferson as a baller, I mean,
nah, bro.
If Kemba wasn't there, we wouldn't, bro. If Kemba wasn't there,
I don't know if it ain't definite that they gonna retire his jersey though. It's not like.
Stop it.
It's
not. The Bobcats were so irrelevant when that man came in. Wow. And now y'all got us calling him the Bobcats still. The Hornets were so irrelevant when that man came into the league. He at least made them a legitimate franchise. Took them to a couple playoffs.
I agree with you.
I mean?
But they got swept twice in them 2 playoffs.
Well, let me ask you this. What's the LaMelo character done since he's been there?
I mean, he's still a baby, though. Right.
But that's my point. At the end of the day, it's still Charlotte.
His second in command is leaving. He might be doing some 27 days, 27 nights.
Shit, he doing a lot more than 27, boy.
But actually, the Pistons look like they about to offer him a contract if he beats this case, though.
We need to learn from the Browns. When you got them type of allegations on you, just go ahead and sit it out. Just go ahead and sit it out. But anyway, Chris, is that a part that plays that factors into what you look at somebody's legacy at? Does it play into somebody's legacy whether or not they stay with one team?
No. Like the one player that I say that it played a big impact on his legacy was Magic Johnson. You know, because he was a Laker the whole time, because he was like the face of Showtime, that play, like when you think of Magic, you think Showtime, Happy, and all of that. If he went to another team, I don't think Magic legacy would still be the same. But he's the only guy that I think like legacy is like for example, Allen Iverson legacy. I keep bringing him up again because he's somebody that said loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. But he didn't win nothing. I mean, phenomenal career, phenomenal money he made, but he didn't win nothing. So, I mean, I don't like being loyal did nothing for his career.
I mean, he also played for like what, 5 teams?
Somewhere around
but
there, yeah.
but what I'm saying is he played for him when he was like when he had no choice. Like they was like you got to get up out of here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, no. And like Tim Duncan, honestly, I think you put Tim Duncan on any other team in that era, and they all win at least 2 championships.
Hey, hold on. Socrates just said something interesting. Who retires Kawhi's jersey?
Toronto has to.
I don't
Spurs
think so.
and Toronto. The Spurs
I don't think
Toronto. He was a finals MVP for both of those teams. Toronto probably will never get another championship again. San Antonio, he got a finals MVP when he was a toddler.
That man played how many years in Toronto?
Only one.
One?
But like I said, they may never get another banner again, Gibbs. They
best
may
player
never.
That's their best season in the history of their franchise.
That's their best season in the history of their franchise, the best player in the history of their franchise, and he won them a title and won finals MVP on top of that.
I'm sorry. We're sitting here debating DeRozan and his impact on that team, and Kawhi is a no-brainer? Get out of here.
No, I never said. I was with you when I said when DeRozan was gonna be a definite player to win the award. I mean, to get his jersey hung. I was with you right away when Guy said that. Kawhi though is different. He name somebody that's gonna go to Toronto or as a free agent. Name one player.
He didn't go as a free agent.
He got traded.
Exactly. He got traded, and he could have been like Ben Simmons. And say, oh, my back hurt. I don't want to play in Toronto. I only got 1 more year left on my deal. Oh, my God. Like Ben Simmons did. But no, Kawhi went in there. He took them boys, and he got to the finals. Golden State got banged up, and he won a ship.
Yeah.
I don't know if I retire his jersey if I'm him. I don't know about that.
Bro.
I'm sorry. There's no hate. There's no hate, but I don't know if I can retire your jersey off of 1 year. And in that 1 year, honestly, that team, the collection of what they were is much more due to the players who were already there and that GM than it was him. Because at the end of the day, how many? All right, look at it like this. If you would have put Kawhi on the Pistons that year, does Kawhi sniff any type of relevancy? Any type of relevancy in that year?
No. If you put him on a lot of teams, he didn't.
But that's my point. He had to sit out 30 games in order to be great in the playoffs.
Well, but you got to remember, he had just came off a nasty injury, and the Spurs was trying to downplay his injury, so he was being precautious.
What that got to do with me? But if I'm the Raptors,
it got you a title. It got you a title.
I understand that. But if I'm the Raptors and you telling me I got to retire somebody's jersey off 1 year and really off
and it's
3
the
quarters,
only ring in your franchise history, though.
It's the only ring in your franchise history. You probably, I'll probably die or have really a lot of gray hair everywhere, and the Raptors probably still won't sniff the title.
Let me tell you
and
something.
I plan on living to at least 75.
Y'all are more generous. Y'all are more generous as owners and GMs than me, because I ain't doing it. I ain't going. You was here for a year. You weren't even here by your choice. You didn't want to be here. You got a championship and you left.
But he didn't even leave Messi or nothing. He left. He talked to them, told them what he wanted to go back home.
It doesn't matter how you leave. It don't matter.
Look at all the commercials he was on in Toronto for that season. Look at all the revenue he generated for Toronto that season. Come on, man.
That's
they owe it
crazy.
to him to retire that jersey, man.
That's crazy. That's really wild. Andre Bargnani has more career points for the Raptors than you. Get out of here. I ain't hearing it. I ain't going for it.
Hey, bro, you only played 70 games.
I ain't retiring not a darn thing. I ain't doing it.
That shot against Philly, come on, man.
Let me tell you something.
They probably got that hanging on the wall in there.
In my I'm going to get back to the topic. In my personal opinion, a player staying with one team, it absolutely affects the legacy. And I say that because the only reason that like a player can play for multiple teams and we be all right with it is if like his OG team had terrible management.
Right.
That's it. If you're talking all-time greats and you jumped to multiple teams, and we're not talking end of career, because you know what, you did bring up a great point where AI did play for 5 teams, but all of them was over the age of 30. Like that's not really the same as like, you know what I mean? Like Hakeem Olajuwon retired as a Raptor. Like nobody probably realizes that, but he did.
Honestly,
Patrick Ewing retired Orlando Magic. Yeah, Magic. Like that's just the reality. But you know, it's different. But I'm gonna tell you this: when you look at great players, again, the only way that people excuse you leaving is if your first team had no clue what they were doing. If your first squad was half decent outside of you, if they were half all right, people look at you like that is why. While there is a lot of bag Twitter out there, while there's a lot of most skilled player ever folks out there, that's why Kevin Durant will never be in anybody's top 5. I think that he's in some people's top 10, but it's rare. But I don't think he'll ever get in anybody's top 5.
I had him in my 15 last episode.
No, he talking about most skilled players. You ain't telling me.
Oh no. In terms of skill, again, I don't look at skill the same way y'all do.
In terms of skill, top 10 is arguable, man.
It's arguable, yeah, for sure. But player,
bro, you ain't naming 5 players more skilled than Kevin Durant to me, bro. I'm sorry, you're not.
You can
you're not naming. No, you're not naming 5 players. That's 7 foot, shoot the 3, dribble like a point guard.
Height ain't a skill. Height is not a skill.
That's the point, Gibbs. That's the point.
He plays like a guard height that's not gonna play like that.
7 feet, bro. He plays like a guard at 7 feet, Gibbs. Literally. You can't guard that man.
You
can't guard that man.
Is that supposed to be a good thing?
That's skill. Yes.
Is that supposed to be a good thing?
I mean, yeah, because who else
How many
done it?
7 footers you know doing that? How many 7 footers?
Right.
Giannis don't do that.
Like a
Giannis don't do that.
And Giannis got a ring with a team that's completely mid outside of him. Kevin Durant, the only time he ever got a ring is when he was with the greatest backcourt of all time that won multiple rings without his behind.
Okay, they won 2 rings without, not multiple. They won 2. Okay.
2 is multiple, ain't it? It's multiple, ain't it?
Hey, look, I mean, but going off of what Socrates was saying in the chat, honestly, I would spruce up the top of my arena if I was the Clippers. If I'm the Clippers, I'm retiring a Kawhi jersey.
What?
And I'm not saying.
I mean, they argue their own arena too. I'm not saying
because of any kind of contributions. I'm not saying because of any kind of contributions. But 20 years from now, unless you a basketball fan, you gonna look up in the rafters. You gonna see Kawhi Leonard and be like, "Yo, he was a Clipper."
I'm telling y'all this right now, and y'all don't realize it at this moment, but it's something that time will be very unkind to Kawhi's legacy. Time will be extremely unkind to his legacy.
I don't know about that. What time will do to his legacy? It'll bring out the bad stuff about Kawhi, like it does for everybody that's good legacy though. Honestly, think about everybody that's good in the NBA. Even Kobe, God rest Kobe's soul. All the bad stuff came out as he retired. Everything bad. Kobe did this in the locker room. Kobe did that. Did that.
But this what I'm saying. This what I'm saying, right? Kobe is an exceptional case because, like, with his early passing, like, it became like you can't slander the dead. Like, you just can't do it. It's a little weird. People look at you like you're a weirdo. But with that being said, if you look at a lot of guys' legacy, one of 2 things happens. You either get Paul Bunyanized to where you were the greatest thing to ever exist and you had no flaws in your game, or your legacy shrinks just for no reason. Like, you didn't. I'm gonna tell you, a guy whose legacy like shrinks by the day for like inexplicable reasons, Shaq. When you think about what Shaq truly was,
if you wasn't there to see Shaq play, you just be like, oh, he was just some big dude that couldn't shoot free throws.
Based on how people talk about him now, you would not know. Like you look at that picture of when you look at that picture of the Nets, it really encapsulates a lot of his career. It really does.
Here's my theory about Shaq, right? If Shaq didn't play in the 90s and as far as he did in the 2000s, I would agree with y'all. But there's still enough people that was around, like our age, that know Shaq, that his legacy ain't tarnished yet. Now, 20 years from now, I would agree with you because he is getting big and sloppy, and the way he talk is just ridiculous. But let me tell y'all a player whose legacy is really going to tank. Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce's
legacy already cooked. It's kind of already
cooked before he retired.
But listen. Right now, real basketball fans still call him like you, but like, oh, his nickname was the truth. Yeah, Paul Pierce, he was straight back in the day.
That's facts.
Not even 5 years from now, You ask any new basketball fan, they probably won't even be able to tell you who Paul Pierce was.
I'm guaranteeing. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, as sure as the sun rises on the east and sets on the west. I want you to think about something right now. If you really look at their accolades one for one, Kawhi Leonard is actually very close and comparable to Kevin Durant. Same amount of Finals MVPs, same amount of championships, almost identical number of All-Star games, all that good stuff. I guarantee you, in 10 to 15 years, there will be two totally different things said about those two. And he has way more chips. He has way more chips than Kevin Durant. He got what, 4?
Who?
Is it 3 or 4? Kawhi.
Kawhi?
Did he win 2 with the Spurs or 1?
Yeah, he got 2. He won 1 with the Spurs, 1 with the Raptors.
One with the Raptors.
Oh, my bad. You're right. My mind is tripping. But anyway, yeah, so he got 2. So they got the same amount of rings, same amount of Finals MVPs. And I guarantee you, in 10 to 15 years, the conversation that's had about those two will be such a world of difference. It won't even you won't even realize, wait a minute, if you put their resume side by side.
I mean, but if you think about it, though, even today, Kevin Durant not that much better than Kawhi when he's fully healthy. Like, if you think about it today, it's not that. Like, you tell me I'm trading Kevin Durant for Kawhi Leonard, I think that's fair trade on both sides. Honestly, I really do.
You think the Hey, Chris.
I'm not mad at that.
What were you about to say, Gibbs? Because I'm willing to hear Chris out.
What they got in Boston that got you acting like this, man?
What
they got in Boston?
If you told me I had to trade Kevin Durant tomorrow, the best I was getting was Kawhi Leonard, I would be like, oh, done deal. Tomorrow. Done deal. We don't even have
I'm not serious.
I'm trying to. You mean right now, or you mean if they both fully healthy?
They both fully healthy.
Fully healthy, of course, that's a fair trade. But health is a big part of it. That's a huge part of it.
I'm speaking fully healthy. Yeah.
That's like saying if you knew the future of what was going to happen when Brandon Roy was in Portland, you would still be like, you know what? I'll go ahead and give you. I'll go ahead and give you like every player that the Cavs got except Brown. Like, you would look crazy. I ain't
gonna lie, bro. Kevin Durant and Kawhi. Even Kawhi, like we looked at the sky and said today. You told me the best I was getting for Kevin Durant was Kawhi. I'm gonna take my gamble on Kawhi because Kawhi not that far off from Kevin Durant, and I know I'm losing Kevin Durant either way. So I'm gonna be honest with you. 27, and I think he was 50, 40, 90 before, and he won Defensive Player of the Year, and he got 2 Finals MVPs, and he's a guy that can fit in any system because he's good defensively.
No, he's not. He can't fit in any. He can't fit on any. He can fit in any system. You're right. He can fit in any system. He can't fit on any team. The man has to miss at minimum 20 to 30 games every season.
Okay,
every season.
But what contended team can you not put Kawhi Leonard on and they not be final favorites today?
But that's the thing. You're talking about contending team. The Nets are not going to be contenders after they get rid of Kyrie and
KD. The Clippers wouldn't be either. The Clippers wouldn't be either.
I'm not saying that they would be, but they'd be closer than what the Nets are, even with being.
Well, because you still got Paul George. Yes, of course. You still got Paul George.
Man, yes. you out your marbles, man. You out your marbles. Now, if you talking KD, if you talking Kawhi for AD, sure, that's one I take. Yeah, absolutely. AD gonna be hurt and playing around too. Good, go ahead. I got
guy. You a big Kawhi advocate too. You're a Kawhi advocate,
right?
You telling me that it doesn't make sense to trade a Kevin Durant for a Kawhi Leonard. If I'm the Clippers, I would have done that.
In this current situation, from the Nets' perspective, it don't make sense. If they were both fully healthy, of course. But if we talking about like literally right now, if I was the Clippers, I would try to make that trade for sure. But Kawhi, we not even sure. I mean, he say he healthy. Wow. We not even sure if Kawhi playing next year.
Hold on, wait a minute. He didn't play it all last year. Bro, stop it.
He played all last year.
Stop. Bro, I ain't worried about Kawhi. Listen, Kawhi career is not going to be longevity. Don't get me wrong. Kawhi career is going to be short-lived for sure. But if you telling me that Kawhi is, like, if you add health into it, Kevin Durant had a lot of big injuries too. Like, let's not act like they both done sat out 2 seasons.
I feel like that's because KD couldn't play.
I was just about to say, you know the difference.
KD physically couldn't play.
We knew there was nothing under
like, my thigh hurt a little bit. I'm gonna chill this season.
Y'all asking for a lot for real. I ain't finna play.
Hey, I'm just saying, pound for pound, talent wise,
Okay.
they not that far off.
Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. In years from now, and I hope that this podcast is still running and we getting paid wild bread and we on ESPN or something like that. Because this is going to be great to look back on this tape. Because this is going to be during the dog days of sports coverage where we ain't got nothing else to talk about either. And it's going to be like 2027. And they're going to be like, hey, y'all got any story ideas for the day? And it'll be July 11th, which I'm going to remember because I'm going to be somewhere getting a free slushie from 7-Eleven on 7-Eleven day. And it's going to hit me. Wait a minute. I remember we said Kawhi wasn't nothing. It's that day. It's that day again. Because I'm telling you, nobody in their right mind would trade a player who ain't played in a year, missed 30 games every year for KD right now. No way. No. And KD is getting older. KD had his injuries, but again, you know what? We got to move on. We got to move on. But we could talk our heads off.
Real quick before we move on, when we was talking about Paul Pierce, I agree with both of y'all, and I definitely agree with Chris. Honestly, I wouldn't say 10 years from now. If I lined up 10 high school seniors that claim they basketball fans, I feel like at least half of them wouldn't know who Paul Pierce is.
Ooh.
I was watching this.
You talking like players that like watch the game on a day-to-day basis too, like. You know, like people that actually like, you know, familiar with basketball. Now, see, high school seniors might be a little too old. No, I was thinking more so high school sophomores.
I was watching this TikTok. It's this dude on TikTok that's a drill sergeant for ROTC or whatever. And he asks his students sports trivia questions. And if they get it wrong, they got to run a lap. And these kids was like 15, 16. And he was asking them,
right, that's sophomore. Yep.
What player nickname is the big ticket? It was 20 kids. Literally, the 20th kid is the only one that got it right. The first 19 did not know.
Yeah. They
didn't know Kevin Garnett nickname?
No.
Yeah, that's a shocking one because Kevin Garnett, if he would have left Timberwolves earlier, he would have probably been on Mount Rushmore.
All over socials too.
He would have been.
He never stops talking. He never stops.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If KG left Timberwolves earlier, he'd probably be on Mount Rushmore. That's how good KG was. Like KG was him.
Oh my God, that's tough. That's tough, man. That's tough. I'll tell you this much. If in 10 years, if they did that same thing with like, you know. Who said Boardman gets paid? I'm guaranteeing you, nobody would know that's Kawhi.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, I think they would because who else gonna sign with New Balance?
I mean, again, it sounds good. But again,
okay, so you can say like who else gonna sign with New Balance so kids would know. But if you ask kids like, yo, in the '90s, who signed with Fila? Wouldn't none of them know Grant Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, but his career ain't Kawhi career. Grant Hill, he got injured too early.
I mean,
but he still went on
Grant
to play
gave you like 7 good seasons before he got injured. That's kind of the same with Kawhi.
All right, so I'll say this. Okay, it's interesting that we're discussing this because this is blending in with our theme of like trophies, recognition, all that good stuff, and we got something that we need to speak about, okay? We got something that we need to speak about because...
But for the audience, get on me. This was Gibbs' addition to the rundown.
No.
Listen, I know y'all like to make me be Satan.
I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat for it.
And you know what? I'll even take it a step further. Me and Gibbs was more willing to put that on the rundown than Chris was.
Yeah, we need to talk. And you know what? We'll say that for last. Because you know what? We talking about what we would give up for Kevin Durant, and we need to talk about the Nets GM asking for Ant and Cat and some first for KD. Fellas, what would be your response if you're Minnesota's GM and Mark's asked you for all that? For KD.
Can I go first, guy? Can I go first?
Go ahead.
So y'all remember the Razor phones, right? The Razor phones. When he called that, I would have clapped that phone so quick, and he would have called back. I'd be like, "Who this? This Sean Marks? Boy, why you calling me?" I would have hit him with one of those. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you think
right now.
Ain't no way you call me and ask me to gut my team apart after I just got Gobert for some Kevin Durant. No, ain't no way you just asked me. So what Kevin Durant gonna play with? Gobert and D'Angelo Russell? Oh yeah, he's a real world beater. He couldn't win with Kyrie and James Harden.
So let me tell you this. This would be my response. Confessions Part 2. Usher in the beginning of the song. I'm in the studio right now. Hey, stop playing. How you know that? Stop playing, man.
Oh, for real?
That would have absolutely been me. And my next response would have been, hey, Marks, man. Hey, Marks. I know that you want me to take all these years. Holla at me when you sober. Holla at me. Don't worry, Socrates. We gonna get to the spicy take later. But we had to get this KD story in here real quick. But we gonna get to spicy stuff later. Anyway, I would have told them, holla at me when you sober, because I ain't doing it. I ain't going. I don't know why you think that a 30. How old is KD? 34.
Yeah, 30, 34.
A 34-year-old that's had multiple lower leg injuries, that's 7 feet tall. I ain't doing it. I ain't going. Josh, what would
ever season like that?
Yeah, no, not happening.
It's not even a response coming from me.
Yeesh. You gonna turn on your red receipts? You gonna turn on your red receipts?
Yeah.
Wow, that offer crazy.
Hey, peep Sean Marks
I'm
probably
just
sitting there.
thumbs up the message.
Look, look, Sean Marks probably sitting there like, man, I got Kate. I'm about to blow him mind with this trade right here. He was like, yeah. You just got Gobert too, so you want somebody like KD, man. KD and Gobert, you sweet, you sweet. He was
That trade offer is one of those where like it's like an outfit where somebody wear like leopard print with like a lime green shirt or something like that. Like you can't do that trade without thinking you shut down the club. Like you can't. Like there's no like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good trade or whatever. But anywho, I'm glad that we're all in agreement. That trade request was so ridiculous. There's no serious need to talk about it. But now we get to the actual take that was very, very spicy, or the actual questions that were extremely spicy. Josh, can you pull up that trophy and put it on? Can you pull up this trophy?
Let me find it. Let me find it.
Now, I wanted Josh to pull up this trophy because this WNBA All-Star Game MVP trophy is the most disrespectful trophy I have ever seen in my life in all of professional sports. And I don't think y'all understand. Like, I used to watch tennis when Serena was on, and I saw what they would give, like, the runner-up. Like, they give you that, like, little plate. Not the, like, big grand one that the winners got, but they gave you, like, a little plate to stand there with while, like, she was on the podium winning. What? Like, did you immediately look at that and think this is a horrible look for the NBA? Chris, I'm going to let you start. Did you immediately think that?
I ain't gonna lie, Gibbs. If Gurley took her shoe off and put it next to the trophy,
the shoe was bigger. The
shoe was bigger than that trophy. When I first saw that, I thought it was, the tea kettle that whistled through the house your grandma used to have in the house. I thought that's what it was they gave her. Like, come on, man. Come on. Y'all are affiliated with the National Basketball Association, okay? Let's talk about that. National Basketball Association affiliates, right? That means you don't even have to really make no money in WNBA, which we know y'all lose more money than y'all actually make in the WNBA, which is not a knock. I mean, women's basketball is just not a prominent thing right now. And I hope one day in the future it does become a more prominent thing or a more demanding sport. But right now, you're affiliated with the NBA. Is it that hard to say, oh, the NBA does this well, let's do it in the WNBA? Like, what budget are y'all working on? Like, this is pitiful. People are commenting under this Amazon trophies that have a girl hooper that's bigger than this trophy or more value than this trophy.
Hey,
this trophy don't even have no engravings on it. Didn't even have no engravings on it.
That trophy from Amazon was actually kind of fire.
Yeah, if you put like a little effort into it, the Amazon trophy was kind of heat.
It was. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It was kind of heat. I ain't even gonna lie. Josh, did you pull up the picture?
It's up. Yeah, it's up.
Can we? Okay, so they can see it. They can see it.
Yeah.
That is the trophy. That's the trophy. And I just,
Bro, she holding the trophy with
two fingers. With 2 fingers.
It's like she holding up a piece of loose leaf.
Now listen. This gets to the actual spicy take where some people gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. everybody keeps saying if you lower the rims, you change the trajectory of the shot, and like the current players can't play. Listen, this is not like a disrespect to women at all, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm like full out extremely against misogyny. That is a great contributing factor to why the WNBA is not popular. But let's also get into another part of it. The reality is the most exciting play outside of game winners, because game winners got to be eliminated when you talk about most exciting plays. I mean, the most exciting play possible in a game where it's the second, third quarter, a dunk has got to be one of the most exciting plays we've ever seen. It's one of the most exciting.
Dunk and the and one.
The dunk and the and one.
I mean, we've even seen players throughout the course of the NBA that like aren't elite level players, but they're known because they knew how to dunk. Like if you look at the All-Star weekend a couple years ago, people that's casual basketball fans was thinking that Aaron Gordon was a elite level talent because what he did in the dunk contest.
Go ahead.
Jason Richardson. Richardson for a very long time was like, people thought he was a lot better than he actually was.
That's facts. When I was a kid, I thought Jason Richardson was that guy.
Because he was dunking like crazy.
I give y'all even better one. 35-year-old Richard Jefferson with the Cavs.
I give y'all even better one. Y'all remember everybody used to be gassing up James Flight White?
Oh, yeah.
Bro, averaged like half a point. But everybody knew who he was.
That was not a guy that we thought about like, he should probably be in the G League right now, huh? Like, we never thought that about it because all you heard was, oh, man, Flight White got in the game.
My dog should get a roster spot.
That, again, this is not like, and I understand the implications of lowering the rim and how that would like, you need to phase it in over time. So I'm proposing right now, like you like start right now because little kids shouldn't be shooting on the highest level of the rim anyway. It's terrible for their shot form. Not a good idea. They should be shooting on lower rims anyway.
Which is why if you see with the AAU circuit, kids are starting to play early and earlier. If you're looking at it, a lot of guys are getting to high school level, getting to college, and they still using that form to where they got to push from their hip so they can get strength because they're used to shooting like that from 5, 6, 7 years old.
And then when they get to college or when they get to the NBA, the first thing they got to do, instead of learning the playbook, instead of learning rotations, instead of learning, they got to learn how to not do this anymore. They got to learn how to not do that. I am telling you, the little girls going forward, again, the rims should be a height to where like it adjusts over time, of course, but like it stops at a certain point where like most players can dunk. You know what I mean? Like in the NBA, it's an aberration if you can't dunk.
Even players we think that can't. Like Isaiah Thomas, he can dunk.
Isaiah Thomas, players
that never dunk. We seen Andre Miller dunk on somebody before, like once, but he can do it. Saying. Like, an open
JJ Redick was
caught a body once.
He was. That's what I'm saying. It's like we will not see that, and that is a huge part about. Again, as a football player, I understand that what makes football enjoyable to watch for most people is not a defensive tackle perfectly wrong arm in a trap, making the ball bounce outside. Most people don't enjoy. They're looking at that like, they ran a play that didn't work.
I'm trying to see this man's head get knocked off. If you're a casual football fan,
that's what brings in the player getting his stuff rocked in the next week. A receiver dunking on somebody in the end zone, mossing somebody. That's what they want to see. Yeah. That's it. Again, I'm a defensive guy. I hate quarterbacks. I've always hated them, and I can still be honest with myself and realize I'm Otis. I'm Otis. The wide receiver mossing people, that's David Ruffin. Ain't nobody coming to see Otis. I used to think before every game, I want to make this game real boring. I want everybody to go home today. That's what I want for everybody here. Reality has to set in for the WNBA that at the end of the day, if you don't get more dunking, who's going to want to watch? The people who care about the difference between the flare screen, an elevator screen, a down screen, the people who care about those things, we're going to watch anyway. Right. And that's a very limited crowd. That's a very marginal crowd. Now, the players that will watch, if everybody besides Sylvia Fowles and Brittany Griner were throwing down wild dunks on whoever they wanted, That's a different crowd. That's a very different crowd. So that's just my take on it. But anywho, what do y'all think that the WNBA could do to get more viewers, get their revenue up, all that type of stuff?
I'm already in a spot to where the NBA is I don't know the word I'm looking for, but they're supplying most of the money to keep the WNBA afloat because they don't have a winning business model. What I don't understand is you have very skilled basketball players. You have a system that works because they've done it with the NBA. I'm trying to figure out if you want to increase this or you want this to be a business, why is the marketing so poor with the WNBA? I'm a basketball fan. I try to watch the WNBA as much as possible. Does anybody know what the WNBA schedule is?
I do not.
I know it starts in the summertime and it ends in the summertime.
I feel like they play. I feel like they play 365 days a year. Every time I look up, they're like, "Yo, the WNBA season just started."
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so many avenues, especially in the sport of basketball, because that's the sport that's most marketable for individuals because that's the only sport where you're seeing somebody face constantly. In baseball, somebody can get a hit or they can get thrown out, and you don't see them. If you're a designated hitter, somebody might see your face 3 times a game. Football, you got a helmet on. Unless you're a star player, they catch a snap of you on the sideline. It's so many marketing avenues that they have already done for the NBA that they could easily do for the WNBA that I don't understand why they haven't taken that approach yet.
Yep. And the players play in the league, so you don't have to spend extra marketing bread to get them to do certain types of promos.
How many
tweets
have you seen of somebody just putting up a random picture of a WNBA player with 50,000 replies like, "Hey, yo, who is that?" Turn that into a commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say this. So here at Facts Over Acts, no, we don't make millions of dollars, and no, we do not have the best marketing tactics because the first thing we have to do is we have to find our audience and cater to our audience. So that's why we constantly, even though we don't make tons of thousands of dollars, we still drop episodes every week. You know what I'm saying? You guys know once a week you're gonna get Facts Over Acts episode, and we gonna put together a rundown that we feel caters to our audience. WNBA. Having the rims 10 feet and playing those rules doesn't cater to your audience. What little girl is going to look up at this game and say, "Oh man, I want to be like them when I grow older"? The game is so much slower. If you lower the rims down, the game will be a lot faster. Also, and I'm not knocking women at all. Women are great and they are powerful beings just like men are. They actually do more than men in most cases, to be honest with you. If you shrunk the court down a little bit, because the average height is not the same height as the NBA. The average height is not. So
right, which means physically you need less space.
Physically, you need less space, and physically, the game will speed up a lot more. You'll see a lot more fast break dunks, transition plays. You'll see a lot more high-intensity defense. You know? I feel like it's hard to watch the WNBA when I try to watch it because it's so slow. Like, it be possessions where they don't get a bucket for so long, and it don't even be a shot attempt. It be turnover, then they jog back down, turnover. You have to find a way to market the sport for your audience. You have to make young kids look up to those players and say, "I want to be like them. I'm going to study the game."
And by the way, another reason I'm proud to be on this show is because, like, we were talking about this in pre-production. Literally, like, not one time did any of us make, like, a terribly misogynistic joke where I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, that is not going to
happen. Not even me. Not even me, chat.
We were actually being very serious about, like, ways to make the game better because the reality is
I want it to be successful.
We all want the WNBA to succeed. We all have watched the WNBA. Again, the Shock were my team. That was one of my teams growing up.
Oh, like, man, the Shock was us.
Yeah. Bro, it was. I remember I had like a little Shock T-shirt with Ford Dame on the back, and I was like, "Yo, like I got a Shock shirt. Like it was a big deal for me." And the reality is, if you want to, like, people keep saying that expansion is something the WNBA needs to do. Nobody wants to expand a product that is not making enough money.
Right.
You have to first get the money. You have to first get be operating at a net positive. And then more people will be like, oh yeah, I want to own a team. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I want to move a team, or I want to put a new team, start a new team here, because it makes sense. A lot of these folks, you're asking for something that doesn't make sense. And again, the product on the floor has to get better. Now, again, are there a sect of misogynistic and horrible, like people who are just going to be like, I don't want to see women play regardless of what's happening? Of course.
Of course.
Yes, there are going to be those people. There are going to be those horrible people that's like, oh, y'all need prettier players. There are going to be those people. Absolutely, yes. But the reality is, if you continue with the model that you're currently going with and you change nothing, we all know the definition of insanity. We all know it. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Viewership is going up. People are getting more interested in the game. Just lower the rims a little bit and you could make that jump so much. Imagine Skylar Diggins throwing down a 360 on somebody's head.
Yeah.
Imagine it. Imagine one of the bigs. Imagine Elena Deladon cocking back, hitting a wild tomahawk on somebody. That is like, oh, that's crazy. They out here acting different. But instead we get like, oh, she hit a 360 layup.
Right, and it's not like it's not already sports out there that do the same thing and nobody bats an eye at it. It's the reason there's a difference between baseball and softball. And softball is actually a very profitable sport.
Exactly. It's again, we're trying. We're trying our best here. We're trying our best to get this thing rolling, we try. But at the end of the day, again, I have heard the arguments and you know, a lot of my friends, I'm friends with a lot of women who used to play women's basketball at the college level. And like, you know, we've had this discussion and it's I get the feeling of like it feels like a little bit of a like slight to say that you're not equal to the men, but I would look at it like it's pulling you equal by saying like, we want you to have the same things. We want you to have the exciting things too. So that's just my take on it. But anywho, I know y'all tired of us talking about the WNBA and why KD asking for too much and running from the ground and whatnot. But come on back next week and the week after that and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.